How you doing? Quick Q&A time. Promised we'd do a lot of these this off season. Well, here's another one on this beautiful Tuesday afternoon. A little bit of news today, but most of it's not really a big deal. People, as usual, overreacting to stuff on Twitter. So we're going to go through it. Laken Tomlinson's deal does void today. 1.2 million in dead money is added to the 49ers books. But this has no impact on a potential extension for Laken Tomlinson. This is seriously just bookkeeping business for the 49ers. They originally constructed the contract extension and then a subsequent restructure with voidable years at the end to spread out the cap hit for Laken Tomlinson so that they go a little bit further than this 2021 season so that the signing bonus money is prorated a little bit further. Well, because the 49ers did that, at some point you have to pay the signing bonus money on the cap. And today, because the deal voided, it will hit the salary cap for the 49ers, a total bill of about $1.2 million. Now they can still finalize a re-sign for Laken Tomlinson. And if that happens, well, they still have to pay the $1.2 million that they owed against the cap. But you can't run from the salary cap forever. At some point, that is going to come due. That's just going to be on top of Laken Tomlinson's cap hit if they are able to find a new contract for him. And today, Dee Ford's 2022 roster bonus, $4.6 million, became fully guaranteed. That means that the 49ers are 100% on the hook for it. This is also not a huge deal because we already expected this. It was guaranteed for injury as part of the $11.6 million that was guaranteed for injury in Dee Ford's original contract. The 49ers restructured the deal this past offseason. They paid $7 million of it in 2021, and the $4.6 million that you see on your screen was going to be due this season, and it was guaranteed for injury again. You just can't get out of an injury guarantee unless Dee Ford's representatives would allow him to get out of that injury guarantee in negotiations with the 49ers, and that would make Dee Ford's representatives idiots. They're not going to back away from an injury guarantee that was signed years ago. So this is all bookkeeping stuff today. Ford on the books, $4.6 million at least. Laken Tomlinson, $1.2 million in dead money at least. This is nothing to freak out about, even though social media might be trying to make more meaning out of this than there actually is. To answer Dee Ford questions, since they seem to be so ubiquitous and people don't understand what is going on here, here are the options for the 49ers with Dee this season. I put them on this table on the screen. The 49ers can potentially save $2.4 million with a post-June 1st designation of a cut this season. That's it. They can save up to $2.4 million because they are on the hook for this $4.6 million that became fully guaranteed today. It was injury guaranteed before that. The only way that you could save money with Dee Ford is if you cut him and then designate that to be a post-June 1 cut. That's the only way, and it's only a nominal amount really in the large scale of things that you could save for this 2021 or 2022 season. Now, maybe that nominal amount is meaningful for the 49ers, right? 2.4 million, we're up against the cap. Maybe that's something that they're really going to want to clear way for. But the point is they don't have to rush with it because that 4.6 is going to be something that they pay regardless. And if you don't have to rush with it, then why not make a decision until the moment that you actually have to? So that's the deal with Dee Ford. Let's open it up to a few questions, then I have to get rolling. Who do I think takes Jimmy Garoppolo? I don't know who takes Jimmy Garoppolo because there's like 6, 7, 8 teams right now who might need a veteran quarterback next year. 49ers want that number to be as high as possible so they can drive that market up for Jimmy Garoppolo. I know there was some kind of rumor the other day that Washington might be willing to pay a first rounder for Garoppolo. That'd be great for the 49ers. I think so much, and the reason I don't address every single one of these rumors is there's just so much clickbait, so much misinformation going around right now. The market's going to be the market, and we'll see what the market will be. But everybody's going to be trying to get as much traction as they can for their website or for their YouTube or for their Twitter by, making up, Washington might be able to pay a first rounder. And then you actually click on it and it's not rooted in any sort of fact, right? It's just a bunch of speculation. So the reason I stay away from this is because I don't like to just sit here and speculate. I do know there will be a market. I do know there are several teams looking for a veteran quarterback, and I do know that will work in the 49ers' favor. How much it works in their favor, I don't know. Why don't we just sit back, wait and see, and then analyze when the time actually comes. Do I think the 49ers will get rid of him for sure? He barely played. He needs to go. No, I do not think it's a certainty the 49ers will get rid of Dee Ford. Again, the most they can save here in 2022 is $2.4 million. If the 49ers absolutely must save $2.4 million at all costs, if all this financial maneuvering this offseason, all the signings happen and they're like, oh my God, we need $2.4 million or something around that, then they can release Dee Ford with the post-June 1st designation and they can get that money. However, if that money is not fully necessary to free up based on the 49ers' other offseason business, then they can keep Dee Ford and hope that he delivers a few productive snaps for them in the 2022 season, because it's totally possible that he's able to do that since he delivered a few productive snaps for them in the 2021 season. So Dee Ford is a talented enough player to where you weigh the pros and the cons. And I'm telling you the pros and the cons. I'm telling you what the cost benefit analysis of the situation is. And it's $2.4 million in post-June 1st money. And post-June 1st money obviously doesn't free up until after June 1st. So you can't even use it in free agency. So that may even tip the scales toward the 49ers just using this as a flyer year for Dee Ford. You could be pissed off at Dee. You could be upset about the back injury. You could just be over the whole thing and want the 49ers to cut him. Well, those are all emotional takes. A cold, hard fact take is that the $2.4 million wouldn't even free up till after June 1st. So, just from a pragmatic standpoint, it might make sense for the 49ers to keep him. But I honestly cannot say one way or the other what they're going to do. And maybe the 49ers don't know one way or the other what they're going to do. Maybe they're just waiting and seeing how his back, continues to heal or progress if it does, and also seeing how else they spend their money between now and that June 1st date. Yeah, and this is a good point. The 49ers might need that money for Debo, Bosa, and others. And here's the thing. Free agent signings are going to come sooner, right? Those are going to come in March, maybe in April. Debo and Bosa, those signings might come later because the 49ers already have them under contract for the 2022 season. So if you're giving those guys new deals, that could happen like Fred Warner's deal, right? Way after June 1st. So maybe that's the money, the Dee Ford money that you use for Warner and for Bosa, for Deebo Samuel and for Bosa extensions moving forward. So I think that's definitely a good point right here, because there's going to be different buckets that the 49ers pull from. And the Dee Ford savings potentially will go into that post-June 1st bucket, which is what the potential extensions for Deebo Samuel and Nick Bosa might be funded by. See, again, the rumors of the Commanders and Jimmy Garoppolo, it's the Washington team now. They have a new name. Those aren't even I don't want to encourage people to click on them, because that's exactly what the rumors are trying to do. They're clickbait. But you look at these articles, and they're basically just using speculation and then trying to treat it as fact, at least as as far as the headline goes. And they're making it sound like, oh, there's actually stuff coming out of the Washington front office that's saying this. And no, that's not happening. It's just people speculating, turning it into news, which is why I just kind of want to stay away. Let's see what Garoppolo goes for if the 49ers do trade him, and let's talk about it then. What do you think the chances of Dee Ford playing and actually contributing are? I don't know, 20, 30%. At a certain point, the 49ers, again, they don't need to make this decision really until a couple months down the road. And because that money wouldn't be saved up until June 1st anyway. So they can see how the rehab is going to make as informed of a decision as possible. They don't have to make it right now. How many running backs do you think the 49ers will draft? Will they draft a D lineman or two possibly? Well, the running backs question, we had the state of the running backs article on The Athletic the other day. There you go. Deebo Samuel, Elijah Mitchell, and Kyle Juszczyk form an evolving run game's core. And the 49ers have to figure out how to build around that core. Mitchell, Samuel, Wilson's going to be a free agent. Sermon, obviously a rookie. I think in his second year, you're going to want something out of him. Will they bring back a Jermichael Hasty, exclusive rights free agent? Yeah, I think so. I think they're happy with him as kind of a backup third down back. But there might be one running back drafted this year. I think it's important for the 49ers to continue stocking up at that position, because the injuries have hit hard. And if they didn't draft Elijah Mitchell this past season, a lot of you guys are saying Mitchell was a redundant draft pick at the time. Well, if they didn't pick Elijah Mitchell, they wouldn't have been a playoff team. So you have to keep that Running back is like, this vase that's leaking water at the bottom because of injuries the whole time, attrition, injuries, whatever you want to call it. You got to keep on pouring the water into the top of it, especially in this scheme for Kyle Shanahan. Do you expect an early move with the Garoppolo theme, with the Garoppolo trade, I guess you're saying? I think the 49ers would like that move to be sooner rather than later, if that's indeed what they're planning on doing, because then you got the budget for the free agents, right? You move the contract, you have money to sign free agents. That's kind of the point. And then you use, whatever leftover money you have or whatever other money you are able to carve out for Deebo Samuel and Nick Bosa. All right, a couple more questions, then I got to go. I'm guessing the McVay rumors, because somebody asked me about the McVay rumors, are him potentially going to broadcasting. They're just rumors at this point. Aaron Donald potentially retiring, rumors at this point. These guys are going to think about their futures. We'll analyze their futures when it finally comes. All right, one more question, then I really have to go. So this is a quick one. Everybody subscribe to the channel. I've got an article that I have to finish writing. Then I have to hit the road this afternoon. I may even be writing from the road because I may have somebody drive for me. So we'll figure that out here in a little bit. But one more question. Let's go. One more. Let's get a good one. Let's get a good one and finish this show up strong. Green Bay is over $50 million over the cap, yet they claim they'll keep Rodgers and Adams. The Niners are just over the cap right now, and they can't afford anyone without getting rid of Jimmy. What gives? Well, actions speak louder than words. Let's see what Green Bay actually does to fit some of these players, if they do fit them, versus what they're saying right now. At the same time, let's also see what the 49ers actually do moving forward. But there will be a trade-off if Green Bay is able to keep Rodgers, is able to keep Adams. They're going to lose some other guys. They're going to lose the ability to pay somebody else. They're going to have to make some restructures and some deals. Generally, when you run into cap issues and you do keep your star pieces, you lose at the margins. You lose those mid-tier players that can help make you a championship team. So I'm not sure what's going to happen with the Packers right now, 100%, and I don't think anybody is. But there will be a trade-off to be had if they do spend a lot of money to make a top-heavy roster. The 49ers are trying to build sustainability with their roster and year-in, year-out contention. There you had to do a dual-track plan with Garoppolo. Pay him in 2021, see how far he can take you. Answer was NFC Championship game. We'll see what happens moving forward with Garoppolo. But rookie quarterback contract with Trey Lance, if it's only him that the 49ers are paying, plus a more inexpensive backup, well, theoretically, they have 15 to 25 million more to pay other marginal players on the roster. You got to get the margins where they need to be. And sometimes it's a veteran or two that can help tip the scales. That's how financial sustainability theoretically works in the NFL. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. This has been a nice little quick 49ers offseason Q&A. Why don't you drop some questions in the comment section, and I can make a video based on some of your questions so we have more involved Q&As moving forward. So if you have a 49ers question, put it in the comment section right now. If you have a food request, put it in the comment section right now. You could check the YouTube channel. We have America's Best Grilled Cheese on there with a special guest appearance on the YouTube channel. So go ahead and check that out. We put it up just an hour ago or so. So the channel is getting ambitious this offseason. It's not just football. It's football and food and maybe some drinking. We'll see if we add that on a little bit later. Everybody subscribe. Send your questions into the comment section. I'll talk to you all soon. Thanks again.